Welcome, everybody, to another week of Wealth Wisdom, where we're helping you build wealth and legacy.
Companies are like an organism trying to survive.
It's always a risk when you're investing in a company that's purely tied to someone's brand.
45% of Americans have gone into debt for a Disney trip. All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Wealth Wisdom. Last week was a great time. How are you guys doing? It's always good to be with you, gentlemen. We are
doing just fantastic on this sunny, pouring morning here up in Dedham, Massachusetts. Thrilled to be here as usual.
I always like starting my Friday mornings off with you guys. All right, so last week we if you guys missed it, not you, but our listeners, if you're listening right now, you missed a great conversation about going deep into college, the ROI of college. Is it still worth the cost? And if so, how to save for it now. So highly encourage you to get that episode if you're thinking about any of that.
We determine it is, right? But we're just going to be you got to be calculated with your decisions. That's the thing. Don't go in there, go into school with a plan as opposed to going into school to figure it out.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was the big takeaway. But listen to the full episode. I think there was a lot of little takeaways that were good. But this week I'm excited. We're tackling a bigger, more maybe philosophical, I don't know. But Bill, you had read the book. I think you had brought it up a few weeks back, Die with Zero. And it definitely highlights a lot of what people might be going through, retirement, should they save money, should they not? But all of this is so important. We're going to dive deep into the book. I want to get both of your thoughts on how it relates to wealth management, financial planning, and what people should be doing with their money today. But first, we're going to hit quick hits in the news. A lot of action this week, a lot of fun, and then we're going to cover one of our portfolio holdings as always. So let's dive into the news right now. Powell, again, we hit him every week, made headlines, and now the market's pricing in 2 possible rate cuts before the end of the year. I think 45% odds on the stock betting app, I think Kalshi. So two cuts. Eric, do you think this is real? Do you think it's going to happen?
Yep. Yeah, I think it is going to happen, actually. We saw the change in his language over big kind of pivot from the beginning of the year, but also markets predicting it too. We've seen treasury yields for 10-year plus go down significantly. So yeah, I think it'll actually happen this time.
I think mortgage rates are at an all-time low this week as well.
Recent lows. Yeah.
Okay, Bill, do you think they're going to cut twice?
I do. I've been going back to the jobs, right? Labor market this whole time saying, hey, if that's strong, they're not, you know what I mean? The stock market's still chugging along, but they're not going to do it. That they wouldn't cut. And we're finally seeing some softening there. And depending on which reports you believe, right, which is coming out here and there, it's interesting too, listening to why there's so much discrepancies in that. But it looks like it's softening with that, being in place. The Fed's kind of mandate is keeping inflation down and keeping the country employed. So with that softening up on the employment aspect, that signals to me something's going to be done, trying to get ahead of it, right? Keep things motoring.
Yeah. More certainty too for all the corporations in the U.S., right? So they'll get the green light to go ahead and hire recent college grads, for instance, who we know are anecdotally struggling to find jobs. So it'll all be good things. But speaking of mortgage rates, we should do an episode on when to refinance, what the break-even point is, and the real estate market, things like that. Just throwing that out there. But
we should do that. Yeah. We should do that when we have our realtor guests on as well, which is coming up in a few weeks. So that's exciting.
Good idea.
Yeah. We'll tie it all together. Also, Nvidia I think Nvidia's got the economy on their backs, I'm saying. They crushed earnings. But then, Bill, they dropped. Yeah, but they dropped 4%. What's up with that? They crushed earnings.
They dropped 4% at first. It climbed right back up though. So I think yesterday finished the day down 0.79 or something like that. It did drop a little bit in pre-market trading today. But yeah, I think it was more, right? It was the data center revenue, that was a miss. Everything else, that they beat on literally everything else. All their other business segments they beat on. It was really just that data center. I think it was the expectation. They came in at 41.1. And then there was no guidance on China. They just said, we're not even putting it out there. I think if you actually consider, though, the amount of business that they'll do with China once all this stuff gets worked out, that's going to lead to a big quarter for them. So, again,
well, yeah, they hit expectations without China at all.
Exactly.
They haven't even
so
opened
you're
that up
thinking about
yet.
they're probably the second biggest builders of AI right now.
They're hinting that they're going to be able to sell their Blackwell chips to China as well. So that you'd figure that'd be a big pop if that actually comes to fruition.
And that's the other thing, Eric. I don't think Blackwell's even hit the market yet. So that's a whole new line of business that everyone is drooling for, salivating over. So
it's hit the market. It just hasn't. They just won't sell to China. You're saying that they don't have those chips. Yeah. So we're buying it everywhere else, and they just won't. They won't give it to China. They're giving those kind of older chips and things like that. But those, it should be enough. Even with that little pullback, Nvidia still, they're just in a great position.
Yeah,
and it's interesting as their stock goes up. There at times they've been cheaper than when they were 1,000% ago in stock increase, and they were actually considered a cheaper valuation now, which is insane to think about.
Yeah, it's 32 times forward earnings, and that's predicting 50% earnings growth in the future. But which compared to some of the other tech companies, that's actually a lower PE ratio there. But it's I don't know. A lot of investors get a little panicked. They see the market cap at $4.5 trillion, and they're like, how much more room does it actually have to run? It hit a low was that like 6 months ago, $90 a share. It's up to $180. Is it time to get out of it, sell, take some of your gains before year end?
It isn't as well as it's done. The stock, it is incredibly volatile in times, right? Yeah. So you look at what it did in April, how far it pulled back. When you look back in 22, I think it was down like 68%, right, from its high. I mean, if you're an investor, you talk about having diamond hands, like just holding through that as you watch I don't know, right? Say you know what I mean? You got $1 million and it goes down to 300,000-400,000. It's that would be tough to watch. Then skyrocket to several million from there.
I think that's why the value of having a financial advisor comes into someone coach you through those tough times emotionally, but also the potential for AI is I think we're just beginning. So Nvidia's at the forefront of that.
Yeah, they're fueling it.
Yeah.
So
they're fueling
everything's kind of based on it.
Yeah. And then I don't know if because of Nvidia or not, they're definitely pulling away from all the big tech companies by leaps and bounds. But S&P hit another record high this week, 6,501, I think as of this morning. But at the same time, it's looking back to school. People are borrowing. Student loan borrowers on save plans have resumed paying interest. So consumers are getting hit again. One more thing for consumers to worry about. So we've got this maybe tale of two cities happening. Maybe that's going to fuel the interest rate cut that we talked about at the top of the segment.
Right.
And then in the next we've got some fun stuff. Did you guys see the Cracker Barrel logo fiasco, them walking it back? But I know we're not an investor in Cracker Barrel, but it was interesting to see the stock just plummet on that headline.
I don't know if my head's been in the sand. I know nothing about
I didn't think about this either.
Crazy stuff. I've been watching. I don't know. I like the branding, marketing stuff. And Cracker Barrel basically came out and said, hey, we've got this great logo. We don't like it anymore. It's antiquated. It's old. Hasn't been revamped for
It's like the wagon,
years.
Right? Like the wagon.
Yeah.
The wagon. Yeah, okay.
So the new CEO said, hey, we're going to do it. And it was like this. We can put it up in the show for everyone if you're watching. We'll put it up in the show on the edit. But the logo was very bland. But basically, it was like, oh hum, a lot of reactions. People didn't like it. Some people thought it was progress. Basically, after their stock pulled back like 6% on the news immediately, and then after 2 days of the whole internet screaming about this thing, they walked it back and said, we're going back to it. And then Trump memed saying, hey, this is America's back, baby. All this crazy stuff. It was entertaining, but it was interesting how the stock reacted to it.
This is why those survey companies exist. So you don't have fiascos like that, right? Where literally my wife worked at one of those companies where it's like they literally survey out new ad ideas to see how your like customer base will react to it. But yeah, I wonder if it actually benefits their brand just being in front of people again. So who knows, right?
Maybe it'll be interesting. It's interesting they didn't stick to their guns, and they did decide to walk it back.
Well, yeah, I just looked at the logo. Text only. It doesn't really fit that like cutesy charm, kind of cluttered thing they have going on in there. You walk through the storefront to then get to the restaurant. Yeah, it's not really fitting that vibe.
I would say this is a great example of why you invest on data.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And not on media hype and things like that, because this probably will have zero to do with the valuation of this company in 3 weeks from now. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with the underlying business. No reason why a stock would go up or down, and it's just all over the place, just based on, again,
that's a great
bunch
point,
of
though.
hooey,
That's
you
a
know?
great point. Yeah, no, absolutely. It is. On top of that, I would say there is a lot of value in a brand. I would throw that as a moat. Start playing with it recklessly, and maybe that's the cause. But I agree with you. And then fun news, we've got T Swift, all the Swifties out there celebrating Travis Kelce. And why is this? Why are we talking about this? It was interesting. American Eagle stock went up. I'm going to tie it to stock prices real quick for you guys, and the fans are going to love this. But American Eagle took Kelce and Travis Kelce and put them. A lot of people rallied around American Eagle when they did the Sydney Sweeney move. Big
Okay.
campaign.
So they're working with Kelce now too?
Investors were like, that was great, but it's not going to pop again. That was a one-trick pony. And they said, oh, we'll raise you Travis Kelce. So they just announced a big collab. But anyway.
I feel like those are pretty safe collabs. Like those, all those celebrities are like marketing machines and rarely do anything too bad, right?
Yeah. And you can't trade on this, but the company that's eluding me right now, the company for the engagement ring, also their stock went up on the news.
Did you hear how much the ring was?
No, how much was it?
It's like $500,000. Although she was wearing a modest Cartier Santos with diamonds around the edge, that one's just $27,000. But yeah,
amazing. There must be a lot of
leave it up to you, Eric, to know all about that.
Stat guy.
If that's what we want to call it.
think about the pressure of buying an engagement ring for Taylor Swift. Or do you think she?
Yeah, I mean,
what do you get for the woman who has everything, right? Or has it all?
That's true.
To be honest with you, $500,000.
That's like penny.
Kind of light.
Yeah. Well, maybe not for him though, if he's actually buying it, because what's her net worth? Taylor Swift.
She's
it's been
not a billionaire, like
she's
close
I think
to.
she is.
I think.
But I mean, even he.
1.6 billion.
Yeah.
Because she owns all her music now too.
But even he's worth like over $100 million, I would think. Like between his podcast, they signed like a $100 or $200 million deal, plus all his NFL earnings, plus other endorsements. I feel like he's all over the place with endorsements and stuff like that. So obviously, and right now everything he touches is gold. So his future earnings is probably gonna. I would say right now would outweigh his NFL earnings.
Because he'll definitely pivot to doing a ton of media.
Yeah, he's one of those guys who's going to do media. Again, we see American Eagle. There's going to be the world is his oyster, right? At this point, he's
unless they break up and then Taylor Swift writes an entire album about how he stinks.
I would imagine someone like Travis is coming into a lot. He probably needs a lot of guidance financially, especially maybe on the estate planning. Travis, we're here for you, buddy. Taylor, we've got operations in Rhode Island as well, close to your mansion, so convenient. Give us a call.
That's
We're
right.
here.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into the meat of the show today. Die with Zero. So just quick synopsis, and then we'll dive in. I got tons of questions for you guys. Die with Zero by Bill Perkins, published in 2020. It basically challenges the traditional save everything for retirement mantra. And he pushes optimizing life experiences while you can still enjoy them, and then literally die with zero. So strategically spending down your wealth during your entire lifetime. Similar to Tim Ferriss's outlook on it too, but we talked about that a few episodes ago on dreamlining and creating the perfect retirement. But at the core of the book is really about living intentionally and being intentional with your life. Bill, I think you read it, or when you had brought it up.
I actually have not read the book. I've
Okay.
I've read about in summary. It's something that I'm going to read, but I've
Will Spark
more
noted
like
it.
summary synopsis, things along those lines. The ideas behind it. That's where I've looked into a lot, but I've not read the book cover to cover.
Yeah, okay, cool. But the main highlights, the 0 point, Eric, you've got aiming to spend your last dollar in your last day, maximizing that, your life experiences along the way. What do you think about the main highlights of the book?
Yeah.
And-
And the other two, experience optimization. So money's true value lies in experiences and memories you create with your family and friends. And then the time versus money trade-offs. So recognize that your ability to enjoy experiences changes throughout life, right? Maybe you're not waiting till the very end to start spending your savings, because by then you might have less mobility.
You don't
less
enjoy it,
independence.
right?
Yeah.
The people with you probably won't enjoy it as much because you can't do as much with them.
Yeah. I think
Was
that's
I feel like this book is written by people in the younger generation. Just come on, parents, you should pass it on before you get too old. Come on. It's
I think that's one of the book's points. Pass.
100%. Yeah. So they talk a lot about one of the concepts was the time bucketing your life. You know what I mean? Just like you were saying. So making sure that, you have these 5 to 10 year timelines, right? Getting the experiences that you want to get experiencing in those different phases. But thinking about, listen, my health is going to get worse. My energy is going to get worse over time. So I want to make sure that we're doing it in these younger years. And I think one thing too that I really enjoyed about it is when you're gone, right? It's very hollow. Hey, is it nice to inherit some money and things like that? Yes, but it's very hollow, right? At the same time, it's it's almost one thing I've heard a lot of people say is that they're like, geez, I wish we did more stuff with this money while they were alive. You know what I mean? We did more things. I feel my parents or whoever, they just saved and saved and saved and never did anything, and then had this huge bucket of money. And so they would have been better off, again, having fun experiences, maybe giving it to their kids in their 30s and 40s when they really needed it, right? Because they had a family of their own and were strapped with work and things along those lines and couldn't do stuff themselves, right? Because of that. So that's a huge aspect of that I think is really important.
We're seeing it anecdotally. A lot of clients might be pulling out, for instance, I did a disbursement to a client recently, 15 grand. They're taking the whole family on a cruise.
Awesome.
We did another disbursement for a client, a lot more than 15 grand. They were helping their child with first home down payment. All these things, like the first home, they can experience that with them. The vacation, boom, direct experience, really fun, something you enjoy and create memories together. And these clients all ask too. They're like, hey, am I okay to do this? And we run the numbers and we're like, yes, based on your spend, no issues with this at all. So we're seeing it on our end as well. And it definitely can lead to a more fulfilling life. But there's also necessity with it too. It's a stat is something like 90% of the stock market, like in the US, 90% of US ownership of the stock market is held by 10% of the US population. So,
Yes.
and a lot of that is people 50 and older. So it's the older generation that has a lot of this like high net worth based on the US stock market. They're the ones that have the ability to pass on money and help pay for the experiences right now. I feel like I messed up those
That
stats.
seems
but
high. I don't think it's quite that.
I'm telling you,
But
wait,
It's
hold on.
very close. Yeah, we should look it up. As you look that up, Eric, have you ever, or Bill, have you guys ever had a conversation with the client where they are not spending money, like they're just saving so much at the detriment of their current life, and you know that they can spend more? Have you ever encouraged people to enjoy it a little more? Is that
All
a
the
thing?
time.
Yes.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah. Top 10% own 93%.
Yeah, that is right.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't have thought it would have been that high, but yeah.
Oh, it's
Dude,
yeah.
it's crazy. Yeah. And I wonder how close that is on the real estate side as well. That's just US stock market. So I would assume it's similar. That's why the wealth gap is just out of control. But anyway, sorry, Justin, if you want to wait. So
No, it's good. I was just saying, as you were saying, like, you made me think to ask the question of, have you had conversations with clients where they're not spending the money, they're holding on to it, and you've encouraged them to say, hey, you are okay. Let's, it's okay to enjoy it now.
Yeah, a lot of it's a conservative thing, right? A lot of it is you're just a very cautious investor. You're cautious with your spending, and we'll actually encourage people to spend more. We do that all the time. I don't know if you
Well,
have
what I like to do too is when I'm doing a financial plan with people, that's something I like to bring up, right? So,
Okay.
hey, look, we did your plan. Everything looks great. Everything looks great.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to throw in this? You know what I mean? Would it be fun for you to take your family on vacation once a year? Do you want to put that into your budget? You know what I mean? Look at that and see how that affects you long term as well. And especially, right, if we've got a plan and everything looks really, really good. So let's throw some scenarios in here. You know what I mean? Of things you can do. And that's something that I think people like because it takes them out of the monotony of just this is what my liability payments are. This is what my, you know what I mean, regular cash flow, but it gets maybe the creativity juices going a little bit in the plan and things that they can be doing. I think a lot of people like that. So it's
Do you think it's lack of creativity and you're helping them think beyond what they could do with the money? Or is it just like the frugality that's gotten them to this point they're still trapped in that frugality mindset of I gotta save everything?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
And you see every scenario. I've also seen scenarios where one of the spouses passed away, and that was the person handling the finances too. So they kind of already had the budget in their head, and now this remaining spouse is left with no knowledge of how much they can actually spend, and they lean towards the conservative end. So yeah.
Yeah. It's just that mind shift, right? Everyone thinks, oh, I'm never going to have enough money to retire. I'm never going to have enough money to retire. I started late. I did that. You know what I mean? Something along those lines. People talk a lot about how they grew up. A lot of people who were very wealthy did not grow up rich.
Yeah.
Their parents
So they're
were
protecting it.
Yeah, they all throughout their childhood. We can't afford this, so we need to, be very careful about that. So that's the mentality. It's beat into them that they're not going to have enough money. So they save. No, we don't want to do that. We can't take that extra vacation. We can't do these certain things. And then they've done a fantastic job of saving. And so it's, oh, geez, now I gotta spend it, right?
Yeah.
And you see with wealthy people, they say, geez, I'm worried about saving money my whole life. And now, even though they have this big asset base, they're like, the fact that I have to start drawing down on it is just, it's almost, it's a hurdle that they gotta get that, you know what I mean, get down.
How do you guys approach this? How do you balance like the mental security of having wealth versus the potential regret of not using it for experiences? Does that make sense?
To me, it's numbers. Comes down to numbers. Comes down to the data. You know what I mean?
Okay.
If you can look at it, and you can pro forma out what your expenses are and what you have for assets, to me, that's very comforting. And I think a lot of people to see it right up on the big board. We got our 75-inch screen at the office, and they see these things, or they see it over a Zoom call, and they see their cash flow, and they go, okay, now I get it. Now I see it. And seeing that makes a big difference.
Yeah, it is the visual. And it's the ability to run different scenarios too in the financial planning software.
Yeah. Whereas we use like eMoney, there's also like income labs where we can really show like, hey, as long as you stay within these certain boundaries, you are fine, right? If there's any big pullback, hey, let's tighten some things up here or something like that. But again, this is what you need to do to be fine, right? And
yeah, because they say time is the most precious asset in the world because you can never get it back. So, if someone is, I think you can
time and health.
Yeah. And so if you're healthy now and you have maybe little kids, like, do you splurge a little more now because maybe you'll make more money as you get older, as most people do, or what's your take on that? Eric, I'll let you take that one.
Yeah, we're definitely not suggesting people just blow money away. People need to figure out what's like a valuable experience to them. If it's just being around family, you can do that anywhere, right? Maybe it's just flying someone to you. I don't know.
So you're the book Die with Zero. If you take it to the extreme, you're not saying take it to the extreme. You're saying like still live within your means.
Yeah.
And create.
I mean, I lean towards conservative probably, but I don't want people. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can also buffer that. Okay, so you can say, when I die, I do want to give some money, right? If I can, I do want to give some money to my heirs. So that's the zero for you. Okay, so still have a zero in but it's not actually the number zero.
Like your zero might be $1 million, spending down to $1 million.
Exactly, right? Yeah. So that gives you the buffer you want. It could be 500,000, it could be 5 million. 10 million, whatever. Your situation. Again, that's why everyone's situation is different. But that's the type of thing that you need to be doing. And then
so zero can look different for everybody based on that.
Yeah, more of a theory than an actual number. I know a lot of people say, hey, I want to spend it all, and then whoever's digging my ditch, I want that check to bounce.
Yeah. So on that idea, maybe it's zero is for someone like $1 million. They want to give money to a big charity or some of their kids or their grandkids. The book also suggests giving money to your kids when they're in their 30s and 40s rather than as an inheritance. What do you guys think about that?
I 100% think that's a great thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
You think about, especially in today's society, where people are strapped, right, for cash and things along those lines.
Yeah.
If you can give your kids a gift to help relieve some, again, if it's a debt burden, if it's you don't want your kids thinking of you as a safety net. Yes. And so something happens or something goes wrong, they're always hitting you up. That's not the idea. You want to preach fiscal responsibility to them.
Yeah.
But there are things that you can do to help lighten their load and make their life more enjoyable and make their life allowing them to spend time with their kids more, not having to do as much. That I think is really important.
There's a balance there, right? You also have this concern for wealthy families they're providing for their kids, but they don't want to undermine the motivation of their children. Eric, have you seen that as well? Where, like, how do you strike that balance of I want to provide for them, but I don't want to make them lazy or treat me as a piggy bank or make them stop working as hard, whatever. How do you strike that balance? Or what's your take on that?
Everyone's an adult, so it's hard to control that. As your net worth goes up, you're talking about the uber rich. Some of them try to control it with like trusts. Maybe the children inherit money a little bit later, or there's a trustee that tells them what they can spend the money on. There's some ways to control it. But we do see often like what's that theory, like 3 generations for
The business.
For the uber wealthy to all that money to dry up.
Family.
The first generation makes it, the second generation keeps it, the third generation blows it.
So I mean that's one of those. I don't know if there's 100% a right answer there. That's
No, it's an opinion for sure. Bill, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I just think it starts early, right? You got to have your kids have responsibility for things. Can't
chores
give
chores
them
around
everything.
the house.
Yeah, I think that goes a long way in shaping how they view things in the world.
Yeah.
Bill, do you do an allowance for your kids?
I do. My oldest is 10. We haven't done anything with an allowance just yet. It's made something. We've been very fortunate. My oldest is the type of kid who will, if you ask her to do something, she'll do it. No questions asked. You know, if you ask her, she says, "Why do I always get stuck? Why do my little sisters not?" But we're we're working it in. That's something we may look at.
Yeah, I think I want to do
a show
it.
on this too.
Haven't really. Yeah, she's not the type of kid who I don't think is really overly motivated by money.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's maybe telling
What?
about
Maybe
us.
you could buy more
maybe
books,
we just buy them.
right?
Maybe we buy her too much stuff or something. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she's not doesn't see it as something. But yeah, that is something that we do want to get them involved with more house chores. They do. She does stuff. If I ask her to do anything, she will do it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But I definitely want them to get a little more involved because there are sometimes I get the eye roll. Why do I have to do this? Things along those lines, and I want to beat that out of them a little bit. I want them to be like, okay, Dad, yep, there's no questions, right? So
Yeah, good luck with that. No way.
Eric, what are you guys thinking for allowance? Are you going to do it or?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still years down the line from that, but I would like to do that because I feel like we had to do a lot of household chores and we never got like paid for it. Not that like we got free rent, but I feel like that it would have.
Is that why your parents just kept having kids? Was the free labor aspect?
Yeah,
that's why you have
it's definitely
kids.
not free labor. It's all a cost. Yeah, so I'll probably do something because like it's also when the money's your own and you get to decide what to blow it on or how to save it. It's just a great learning experience. So I want to do something like that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think if could do it right is to incorporate that with investing. Say, hey, I'm going to give you this allowance, right, for doing these chores around the house. But then, listen, half of this, right, we're going to put in an investment account. Let's go over some ideas on what you want to invest in, why you want to do it. And this is a way that they can be participating, learning about the markets, learning about wealth accumulation and growth, things along those lines, while also having the money to spend on experiences and spend on, I don't know, whatever it is kids want, a little something with their friends or something along those lines, right?
Yeah, there's definitely, what are there's like cool banking tools, right, that allow you to do that pretty easily, right? Do you use any of those, Justin?
There are. We dabbled with Greenlight, which is something you can use for your kids and set up an investment account with them, but it was a little too weird for me. There's like weird tracking things in it. Like literally, they get a debit card. I'm like, we don't need a debit card for the kids. Like, it's so they're still very young. But no, I think that's important. Bill, I love what you're saying. I think it's like, how do you get your kids interested in that conversation? Sit them down in front of a computer. Let's pick some stocks. I think we should do a full episode on this because if you're a parent out there, drop it in the comments. Let us know if you want to hear about this. So we should do a deep dive on this topic. But
I'm interested if people have any advice too. What's worked well for them? That would be helpful.
One thing I did hear this, Eric. Maybe you like it or not. I'll throw it at you. I have not implemented this yet. Full disclosure, but there was this guy suggested, and I forget I can't even credit him. So this is years ago. I heard it. But you give them an allowance. Here's the things that you will get, like we expect you to do, and therefore you get a flat rate. Outside of that, here are all the opportunities throughout the house that you can just cherry pick, and we'll pay you. So if you want to do the lawn, they're above and beyond, right? Hey, you're gonna whatever, clean the pool, or you're gonna pick up all the dog poop on the front lawn.
Incentives.
Yeah, so it like brings in a little capitalism to say, hey, these are the prices I'm willing to pay for extra things you don't have to do, but it's there. So then the conversation when they're at the candy store and they're like, hey, mom, dad, can I get this? Absolutely you can, with your own money.
Look at all this opportunity.
With your money, Dad.
Look at the opportunity that's out there.
Yeah, so it's instead of saying, hey, these are the things we expect from you and you're going to get the set amount, no matter if you do it or not, I guess you can.
Right.
So it was interesting. But anyway, that anecdotally, our kids lately over the summer, they're like, Dad, can I have this? I'm like, absolutely. I will pay you back. I know you don't have any money on you right now. If you pay me back, use your own money. As soon as we get home, you can pay me back. And they're like, oh, never mind. I don't want it.
That's when you know if they really need it or not. That's good.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, cool. We're going to put that down now. All right, let's get in. Any last words? I think just one question I had for you guys as we wrap up the Die with Zero segment. What's one risk, or if people take this too far, or one last takeaway, what is the final takeaway from the book? Is there a risk of taking it to the letter? What are your thoughts there? Just to wrap it up, Eric.
Yeah, obviously spending your life savings down too quickly could certainly happen, especially like if you're not meeting regularly with your advisor. That's easily a risk from that idea. But it also could, to make that decision to live your life based on the experiences and spending. Maybe your spending picks up a little too quickly, or maybe those experiences aren't as fulfilling because you're just doing a gazillion things, and it loses its value, loses its meaning. Now you add in a life stressor too when you're spending your money down as well. So there's obviously a balance to everything.
Yeah. Bill, any last wrap up words on Die with Zero?
Yeah, I did. Just prioritizing those experiences. That's the biggest thing, is making. I think it's great to give maybe money to, like I said, giving the money, but I think if you can't give money, say you're where you can't give money, you've done well, you've saved up, but you can't just be cutting huge checks to your kids. Do something to get the whole family involved. Give
your time.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's the other thing. If you don't have the money, use your time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that you can do that will, again, they talk about in the book is like these memory dividends. Like that's what pays off. And I think that, like I said, over and over again, how many relatives and things like that have passed away, and you're like, oh, I wish I did more with it. You know what I mean? With them, or I went somewhere with them, or visited them. That stuff's more important, and that's not even their money or your money. That's just thinking about little stuff like that. So that's my biggest thing, is making.
It's the
just take exactly.
Yeah, live life intentionally. I think this is great. I can't wait to have Bill Perkins on the show with us. Bill, give us a call. We'd love to have you on the show and talk.
Make it happen. Come on.
Yeah. And if you're listening to this, and if you want to hear directly from Bill, like Bill Perkins, who wrote the book, let's just at him in the comments.
What's the pick, Bill? We spark noted your book.
Yeah, I know.
I read it. I read the book. I read the book. I have it. I have it. I read it. My dad a year ago was like, "You got to read this book," and so I grabbed it.
Yeah.
I have a rule of books that if
has it changed the way your dad's living?
My dad is. I think my parents actually do
they
this
live it
and a lot. Yeah, they do live this pretty well. But no, I have a rule. Like, anyone tells me to read a book, I'm gonna go get the book. It's maximum $20, and it could be a great investment. So, someone's telling me get a book, I grab it and I read it. So,
yeah, I may grab that off you actually, since you have the paper.
I'll bring it in the office. Yeah.
I'm gonna grab that so I can.
Absolutely, it's a good one.
I've read about the book so many times, and I haven't actually read the book. It's bad.
No, it's good. It's a great book. It's at the face of it, I was like, whoa, Die with Zero. What does that mean? So it's another great title that hooks you in. All right, last wrap up. We already talked about Nvidia in the beginning. I was gonna say a toss up between Nvidia and our other holding. I picked BJ's. I would what do you guys think? You want to dive into BJ's because we already hit Nvidia.
Yeah, we can do that quick.
I think we should maybe Bill.
Hold on, let me pull up my notes.
Bill, are you with us? Did you freeze? Oh, we lost him.
Oh no. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, so let's go over BJ's real quick without Bill. Revenue missed. It was down about 8%.
Let me tee it up.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so we got BJ's. Well, we're gonna cover BJ's. Bill hopefully jumps back in here. When did we buy BJ's, Eric? What are we looking at for their current earnings? I know it was very recent. I think this year. Correct me.
Yeah, I think we bought it about 9 months ago. We swapped Costco out for BJ's. It benefited us at the time because BJ's had less exposure to a lot of the tariff related risks.
Right.
Because a lot of their stuff is grocery and a lot of that is actually US products. And they had done very well for us. Recently, they were down 8% though. Basically, they had a revenue miss. Let me pull my notes again. Sorry.
But year to date, they're still up.
I feel like it's flat actually year to date. We got Bill back?
No, they're not flat. They're up 10%, 9.7.
You know what? It seems like flat because the market's so hot. Yeah. Revenue miss. Expectations were 5.49 billion. Their actual revenue was 5.38. Sales fell while excluding gas. So one of their big drivers is they have all those little mini gas stations where the members get discounts.
I'm a member.
Yeah.
I'm a paying member. I go there out of my way to go get that gas. It's great.
Hopefully it makes you stop into the grocery store as well. All right, noted consumers crossing mall. Yeah, BJ's.
Sorry. Yeah, BJ's. That's okay. Yeah, BJ's. We're gonna just going over it really quick, and we just said again, where we're at. I'll just catch up.
So here's something interesting. Amazon's aggressive expansion of same-day grocery delivery potentially hurts sales. That's interesting. That's something I know. We actually own Amazon as well. So, wow.
So I think what was interesting to me why I picked BJ's is we swapped it out for Costco on the tariffs earlier this year, 9 months ago. BJ's is still doing fine, right? They're up 10% for year to date. They're doing well. I do think it speaks to a bigger story on consumer spending, and you're seeing this with Walmart and Target as well right now. So Walmart, I think we may have mentioned it last week, Walmart earnings did really well compared to Target. So people are looking for more value more and more. I think BJ's provides that for a lot of people. You're also seeing the dollar store stocks that are flying this year. Eric, was that when we were looking at it on the investment committee discussing BJ's, was that in your mind at all on value?
That is actually one of the reasons we put it in. Specifically, we felt like we have a lot of exposure to the growth industries, right? A lot of data center tech stocks. So we wanted to make sure that we had a diversified portfolio, specifically companies that are growing revenues. They have to be growing revenue to meet the criteria to even be on our buy list. So we're not just buying an old grandpa stock for the sake of buying an old safe stock. Right. Two companies that we own that will do well in a recessionary environment, BJ's and TJ Maxx. Yeah. TJ Maxx, when the other retailers are failing, those clothes go to TJ Maxx, they sell it, they make a bunch of money. BJ's, when market's not doing as well, people go from the more expensive grocery store back to BJ's. So that was the theory, diversify the portfolio with some safer companies. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were up significantly in Costco too, Bill. Yeah.
Yeah. It was perfect. And in year to date, BJ's is tripling the performance of Costco. Yeah. Again, this is not financial advice.
Yeah.
It's just,
the thing people need to remember too is a lot of our clients have different portfolios, or we might be more exposed to one strategy than another in a client's portfolio.
Yeah.
And our goal almost across the board, obviously there's variation, is to grow a client's assets for retirement or whatever their goal is, but also to protect the principal in a down market. That's our main goals. We want to make sure our clients are growing money, but we also want to make sure it's there when they need it. And what we have 280 million assets under management right now. And so we feel like we have a lot of responsibility there to protect our clients.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that a lot. That's great. I don't think we've ever said that on the show. So that was great to clarify all that. Anything else? Last words? I know for BJ's, again, I like it because it's a value stock in that people are looking for the everyday consumer, myself included. Like, I'm shopping at BJ's for the added value. I've been a long time member, so I think it's great value for what it is.
But if you can get it same day from Amazon, will you use Amazon? But it's probably more expensive.
No, it's more expensive, and so there's like certain items I'm always going to BJ's for. There's no question.
Yeah.
So the gas as well. Our location does not have them connected. Otherwise, it would probably be a draw for me to go into the store.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But it's 2 parts of town. So anyway, yeah. But that's it, guys. Eric, any last words before we wrap up the show?
No, I don't know. I love living in New England. I'm excited for the seasonal change. Like, I love the fall. Can't wait to go. Can't wait for the leaves to change. Go pumpkin picking. Go to the apple orchard. Whatever it is. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Put on a flannel.
Yeah, and here we came down last night to avoid the traffic, so that's why I'm doing the podcast remote on the Cape today, and it's last blast. Yeah, at Harwich-Port. Yeah, in Harwich-Port, and yeah, it's right on the elbow. If you're unfamiliar, it's like right around here.
Googling it right now.
So no, this is my favorite weekend. It's called in my head. It's like last blast of the summer. We're going down to Cahoon's Hollow tomorrow for the day. If you're unfamiliar, it's just paradise.
Oh, it's in Wellfleet?
Yeah, Cahoon's Hollow is part of the National Seashore Beaches, and JFK actually made it. So he said during his presidency, he said all these shores of the Cape will not be touched, can't be built on, etc. So Cahoon's Hollow is a beach. It has the Beachcomber, like an epic restaurant up top and bar overlooking the water. And so it was a National Guard station that was grandfathered in to that. And so there are some homes on that shore, but they were all grandfathered in. You cannot build on them anymore. And so it looks like some of the beaches on Nantucket. They're very untouched, natural, beautiful beaches.
Yeah, big dunes and cliffs and stuff, right?
Yeah, maybe we can throw a photo of it right now. But you've got big waves, tons of sharks, seals. It's a fun time, but you have to park. You pay $30. You pay.
Dude, you cannot swim on the Cape without seeing seals now. It's yeah.
I wouldn't be worried. People, that's a lot of hype. There's a lot of seals. I don't think the sharks. I have no fear of being in the sharks. Boogie boarding with them all day long.
Dude, I don't know about you. I'm terrified of what I can't see.
I talked to a lifeguard this summer. We haven't seen a shark all year, so we fly the shark flag every day. But if you're going down, it's the best. You park. You got to get there super early. You park. You pay $30 to park, but then they give you a $30 voucher to go use for food in the restaurant. So it's a blast.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you go up to P-Town at all?
No.
Already up there?
We did go to P-Town this summer.
What, 30-minute drive?
An hour, 45 minutes, hour.
Well, I was saying from the beach there.
Yeah, they have some beautiful beaches. We went down there this summer, met up with our entire neighborhood at a beach in Provincetown. It's called Red River. What was it called?
Is that the one that has the lighthouse?
That's Race Point Beach, and that's beautiful too. This one was on the bay side. It's gorgeous.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. And that group, we did it last year, and it grew by 2 families, and people come down for the day now, and it's cool. No, so what happened? So people started renting. There's a hotel in Wellfleet or Eastham. It's a Marriott, It's connected with Marriott. It's the Four Seasons. So they go. People are staying there now, and then we go to Cahoon's Hollow one day, and then people went further down the next day. It was fun. A lot of fun.
That's great.
Experiences. It's all about experiences. That's what the weekends are for, baby. Anyway, that's it for the show. Always great to see you guys.
Hey, likewise. Hey, enjoy your weekend.
All right. Take care, guys. Thanks for listening. And remember to share it with a friend. If you found value in this, share it with a friend. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you next week.